Welcome to Educating Geeks, the podcast where friends help friends discover new passions. I'm geek host Megan, and in the studio today we have
Andrea,
Bree,
Alice,
and today we are educating Alice on the Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time for the Nintendo 64.
Except that's not the system I played it on.
Except, yeah, we'll talk about that as well. But for the purposes of today, one of the things that we underestimated is how long it was going to take us to play the game. How is that going for everybody? How far has everyone played so far?
Adult.
So you just became an adult?
Yep.
Okay.
you guys told me that the plan changed and we only had to become an adult, so I did that.
So you did that.
I wouldn't have finished.
How far are you, Andrea?
I made it. I got out of the fire temple last night.
Oh, nice.
At like midnight.
So you were giggling about that boss's name, right?
Oh my god.
And I'm in the Shadow Temple right now, but I've been
as a young or as an adult?
As an adult.
Because is that the one you have to do twice?
That's the Spirit Temple.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Spoilers. So Alice, you have said, I don't think I have time for this.
Yeah, I it's a long game, and I'm an adult now. I basically work 2 jobs and I have an 8-year-old son, so it's not like I can really carve out an entire day where I just sit in front of the TV and play video games. Like, it just doesn't happen. And so and it's hard, I think, as you guys know, this is the first time I've played this type of controller, and it's the first Zelda game I've ever played. And so being able to have those extended periods of playtime really help you learn the controller, the muscle memory you need to be able to be efficient with the controller and all of that kind of stuff. But when you're playing 2-hour spurts here and there, the occasional 4 hours once a month, you just don't gain that kind of experience. So, my forward movement with having any kind of confidence with the game is very slow.
Well, and Alice is usually a PC gamer, so she's not used to having a controller in her hands.
Yeah.
Well, and like we said earlier, we're not all playing this on 64, so Alice is also not using the 64 controller, which is this game was designed to be used with, which makes it even more difficult.
I think that might be causing some of your challenges more than anything, because I'm playing it on my Nintendo 64. And at first I was like, oh my God, I can't believe we're going to play this game again. These controls are terrible. But like 3 hours in, I was like, okay, this is second nature again. And it's because I'm back to the controller I was using when I was like 10. And I'm playing it on the controller that it was meant to be played on.
Right.
Which makes it a lot easier.
And I'm playing the Nintendo GameCube. And then the Z Target is not the Z Target that everyone else talks about. It's a different, a different letter.
Alice is using some kind of bizarre, no name, no account controller.
Is it white or black?
It's gray, silver and gray.
Oh my goodness! So
it's
basically, you're using a Doctor Who prop.
That's right. It has yellow. It has the up down. The keys that I used to play the ocarina. It looks more like that. Yes.
Okay.
It's not that exactly, but it looks more like that.
It's probably an off-brand GameCube controller.
That's got to be what she's using. No wonder you're having so many problems, Alice. I mean, I hate to say that, but I do think that's causing maybe some of your problem.
Well, it was funny because when I was watching, watching the Umizoomi guy, that's a kids TV show, so I know that's not right. But the guy who you told me to do the quick Let's Play is what it's called.
Yeah.
Watching him like battle that one boss you guys were helping me with, the Bromade. Again, that's not what it's called.
Yeah, I know which one you're talking about.
You know which one I'm talking about. In Jabu's belly.
Yeah.
That boss. He's like sidestepping the entire time. I can't even figure out how to sidestep with my controller.
Easy target.
Yeah.
We got to figure that out for you.
Yeah.
We really do. Yeah. I have one of the ovally type controllers. I might just lend you that because that might help you.
It's been very... and the other thing I would say about in terms of my frustration level is, usually when you're learning a game, you make a lot of mistakes, right? You run around, you try stuff out, you fail, you whatever. But given the time estimation mistake that we made, I felt like I was under a lot of pressure right? So I'm just trying to like, power through and only do the stuff that I'm supposed to do. So it's not even, I have limited time. I'm not giving myself the opportunity to learn, so I was just, it was very
stressful sounding.
You need to let yourself enjoy it. So Alice, why hadn't you played Ocarina of Time before?
Well, as we've discussed previously, I grew up playing video games in the arcade, and when controllers came around, I had sort of already moved on from that. I'd sort of become a Hong Kong movie film geek, so I wasn't into buying, trying to get my mom to buy me a console. I'd sort of moved on from that, and then I didn't really play video games again until I was maybe in my late 20s, to tell you honestly, and it was PC games. I think the ones that I started with that I really enjoyed the most were the Lara Croft series, which there's some similarities, which I think helped me as it could with this game.
So Bree, tell us about your history with Ocarina of Time.
It was the first game that I ever beat. And since it was the first game I ever beat, I decided to play it a couple more dozen times because it's just a sense of satisfaction and completion. And it was I have 2 older brothers, and it was a game that they had. So when they started to get a little bit older, they wouldn't be at home as much, and I would just sneak into their room and basically play for as long as I possibly could, and then sometimes continue to play while they were there because there was no way you can stop me. I love this game.
It is a really fun game. How about you, Andrea?
Well, I started with the first Zelda. When I was older, I went back and tried to play it and accidentally walked into the final boss's lair on my first wander into the forest, and so I kind of got a little discouraged from Zelda after that at first, and then in high school someone was like, you have to play Ocarina of Time and you have to play Wind Waker. So I started with Ocarina of Time and I loved it so much, and then I went to Wind Waker, which I also enjoyed. So it was kind of like my revival of Zelda, if you will.
Yeah, I had a Nintendo 64. I think it's the game that it either came with the 64 or we bought it with the 64 when we got ours. And I would have been in middle school. Everyone was playing Zelda when I was in middle school. I played the one on the Game Boy, and I played this one. We played Majora's Mask. And this was one of the few games that I have ever completed, especially when I was younger. So I've played this game, I don't know how many times now. I think this is maybe my 7th playthrough. So let's talk about the gameplay. Alice, you had a cute comment about Link coming in and out of everybody's houses.
Oh yeah, my comment was the boy loves some B&E.
Yeah,
I mean there were lots of things that I think again if I had more time, if I was a different age, whatever the case may be, because it is very fun. It has this really lovely element of humor and play about it. It's very joyous in a lot of its mechanics and storytelling, so I could really see where I love it. But I did think it was quite funny that
I always love
you're breaking into people's houses and ruining their stuff and like taking their rupees.
I like when you do it in the shops too, because you're like, I'm stealing the stuff in your shop.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna go buy something with the money I just stole from you.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, there were definitely aspects I enjoyed.
So, what is everybody's favorite aspect of gameplay in Legend of Zelda, in Ocarina of Time?
I love that I don't have to go around and just beat a bunch of random monsters in order to level up.
Yeah.
I hate leveling in other games.
Well, and that's like an RPG type thing. I get Zelda is classified, I guess, as an adventure game, so it's not.
Megan is air quoting.
I'm air quoting. FYI. Yes, it's not a RPG. It's an adventure game. But yeah, I'm with you there. It's way more immersive that way, because when you encounter things in Hyrule Field, you can either run past them or decide to beat them up and then just move on. Yeah.
For sure.
I enjoy that there is no voices in this game. Everything is sound effects and read. There are no annoying voices that I have to try and disconnect from the character.
That's one of the things that I've always enjoyed as well. And they actually, different characters sometimes might have different fonts or different colors, so you still get that personality. Mm-hmm. That's I agree. That's one of the things I really like.
They all have a music associated to them usually.
Yeah.
But you don't have to listen. I mean, we'll talk about the fairies a little later, but that's a different topic. But I mean, they don't have a voice that you have to try to associate with them. And oh my God, that voice is just killing me. You
And
know?
when I was listening to the Let's Play, the guy was doing his own little voices for each character, and I was like, oh, I never thought that character might sound like that. That's adorable.
Oh, I should check. I still haven't checked out the Let's Play. I might have to look at that.
He is so good. I wish I had his name up in front of me.
Is this the Umizoomi guy?
Yeah.
It's like Uzumaki or something.
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
that's Uzumaki 1 or something
Yeah,
like
Uzumaki
that.
1. Whoa.
Yeah, Uzumaki.
I was able to pull that out of my...
Good job,
head.
Alice.
Wow. To tell you, I love the ocarina mechanic, basically. And for all the times where I would just, be ready to throw that unknown game controller across the room. If I had a song, I would just stop and play Zelda's song and do some deep breathing and listen to Zelda's song before I went forward. And it was certainly something... because I'm not as much of a video game player as you guys are, it's something I'd never really, mechanic I've never seen before.
It's
Yeah.
very unique to this
Yeah.
game. Even subsequent Zelda games don't have that mechanic. They have, they all have their own unique thing. But I think the Ocarina is one of the things that made it so unique and so enjoyable.
I cannot, for the life of me, though, ever remember the Ocarina songs. Every single time I have to play one, I have to be like, hold on, let me go to the start menu and figure out what it is. And I'll like, oh, yeah, that's it. And I'll exit out and I'll be like, damn it, what was that again?
I
That's a
eventually
bummer.
had
I
to start
cannot do
writing
it.
it down.
I cannot do it.
Oh, and the fun thing is you can mess around with it and make a bunch of different notes and make it warble.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I haven't been doing that this play around, but I used to do that a lot.
I constantly F up the Ocarina because it's a circular
Yeah.
motion, so you have to be very direct when you're going left and right and up and down. So I'm all
Yeah.
like, damn it, not again. I have to start over.
I could see that being a challenge.
But yeah, it's not bad though. I mean, it's not Alice's controller, so I'm okay.
Poor Alice. We're
I
just going to give her
know.
crap about that controller now.
Well, but at least she knows it's the controller and not her.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I would go that far.
We're giving you the benefit of the
Right,
doubt.
that's very sweet of you. Very sweet of you all. Yes, yes.
So, Alice, I know that you've been having some challenges. I know we all have challenges with the controls in this game. They're not perfect. So what are some of the challenging aspects of the controls or gameplay that you're experiencing?
Well, the biggest problem that I had is that as I would complain to my educators here about my difficulties, they would say things like, well, you got a Z-target. You got a Z-target. Everything's easier if you Z-target. Well, Z-target on the Z button on my controller, all that happens is he takes out his slingshot and aims it. And the other really frustrating that I, again, just couldn't figure out how to do consistently was throwing a bomb in the Gorgon dungeon versus setting it down in front of me versus timing the throw. I cannot tell you how many freaking bombs bounced off doors because I couldn't get the timing right so it would explode in front of the door.
That is hard,
but
and
that
they make that
was-
one hard on purpose, but...
That was really... I blew myself up a lot.
I
Let's just say.
struggled
Yeah.
with that too. I remember I tweeted Alice. I was like, "Oh my god, I know exactly what you were talking about right now. I cannot do this."
Now that I've played it as many times as I have, I don't have that problem anymore, but I do remember that being a really big challenge when I was playing it when I was younger. It's not a perfect mechanic by any stretch of the
I
imagination.
was so happy to get to stupid Jobby Jobby's belly because I was like, I can swim! Woohoo! I can swim! Like nobody's business!
No more bombs.
No more bombs. I'm so happy. Yeah.
Well, you will need them again, but it's not as bad as it is inside the Dodongo. So, yeah.
Oh, that stupid pot.
I can never get Link to walk the way I want him to walk. Whenever you have to deal with like a narrow walkway or something like that,
yeah.
I cannot do it. I just can't. I'm like creeping along this little walkway, and Rob's like, "You have to go faster," and I'm like, "I can't. I'm going as fast as I can."
For Dodongo's
Cavern.
Yes.
caverns. I remember telling you guys that when you start over, after
You
you've
kept
opened
running
the
the whole
mouth,
dungeon.
when you first come in, you can't tell that the mouth is open.
Right.
And I didn't know. So I just kept thinking like, oh my God, this game is like a nightmare. And I'm going to have to run this dungeon every single time until I can kill that boss. And so I would run the whole thing.
No.
Every single time. I must have ran that dungeon like 9 effing times until I was like, you know
Yeah.
what? I'm just going to walk over there and just take another look and see. And sure enough, the freaking mouth had been open the whole time.
Okay, so let's talk about the story. So we're only talking about the story again up through where Link becomes an adult. So what's been everybody's favorite part so far?
Well, I have to say I'm not. And
Are you enjoying the story at all?
Well, I think I'm so focused on just trying to get through it that I haven't spent a lot of. So that's what I was about to say. I was like, I'm not entirely sure I understand what the story is like. There's the bad dude,
yes,
and there's the princess,
yeah.
and he's supposed to go do something and collect some shit. But to tell you honestly, I'm not.
That is the most accurate
description of Zelda.
summary of a Zelda game I've ever heard. You have just described every Zelda game.
Okay,
They all
Accurately.
have the same basic plot
Then
line. There's a bad guy, a princess, and Link.
You start out, you
Okay.
collect some shit, you turn in that shit, then you collect more shit, and
and
turn
it
in
becomes
that
something
shit.
else.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, there you go.
My favorite part of the story is with Princess Ruto.
Yeah. I love her character.
She's sassy, which
Yes.
I think I've established in every podcast we've ever done.
It's your
I like
thing.
the sassy character.
Yes.
And she's also kind of annoying, so I also love to hate her at times.
Yeah, she is annoying, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, the walkthroughs kept telling me that I could use her.
Yes.
You can
Yeah,
throw
'cause
her
you
at
can
things.
pick her up.
and set her down.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
and
knew
you
I
can
had
use
to pick
her
her
for
up, but
buttons.
they kept saying like, "Oh, and you can use her to burst the bubbles, and you can use her to this," and
Yeah,
I
you
could never
can
successfully do that. So she
use
was
her
just
as a weapon.
burden.
Because you couldn't Z-target. Yeah.
But
I did like her.
My favorite parts of the story haven't happened yet.
Yeah, I'm the same, but in what has already happened, it's really sad, but the part where the Deku Tree dies always
no.
tugs at my heartstrings
Yeah.
a lot. And then, yeah, I think Princess Ruto she's just so entertaining. I've always really enjoyed the Zoras. Actually, my favorite characters are the Gorons, though.
I
They're
was gonna say
so
that too.
funny. They're so funny.
They look so friendly and like
Yeah.
huggable, even though they're probably made
Yeah.
of stone and like.
I
I
want to
just love
be...
them.
Solid
he's-
muscle, baby.
Yeah.
He's jolly and he dances.
Yeah.
and-
He's
Yeah.
so wacky, and I always like
Yeah.
the wacky character.
When
like the
you're
wacky
playing
too.
Saria's song for him, he's like, ooh, ooh, yeah.
He's like,
oh,
Yeah.
That is
Yes.
actually, I think that might be my favorite part so far.
I really did enjoy, though, something that I think this Zelda game did more importantly than, or not more importantly, but more so than some of the other Zelda games, is I think it really reached out to you as a kid.
Yeah.
Because at the beginning, he's the boy without a fairy. He's the reject. Like,
Yeah.
he's shunned, and everyone's like, he's not going to have a fairy. And then he gets this fairy on this quest, and all of a sudden, everyone's like, oh, what? You have a fairy now? Wait, the Deku Tree, like, ask for you? Like, it's just like this sort of like coming to age, like he finds his place. And I think that's something that everybody can relate to.
If only that fairy weren't so damn annoying.
Oh my God.
Hey, listen,
Listen.
listen,
STFU,
Watch out.
Navi.
listen, listen.
Well, and the crazy thing of it is I kept going like she would come out with like helpful information when I didn't need it,
Right?
Right.
or like right when I'm trying to see something, and then she takes over the whole screen, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't.
It's awesome when she does that right when you're like trying to kill something.
Exactly.
Thanks,
and then
bitch.
when I like really could have used some useful information, she's nowhere to be seen.
Well, yeah. Do we want to talk about some previews about what's to come in the story? I know
wanna
Alice
talk
has
about-
watched videos.
Yeah.
Well, I only watched through the human part.
Okay.
I only watched through the water. Right.
I want to
Okay.
talk about how freaky it is to look like the first time when you see him age 7 years in a millisecond. Like,
Well, it wasn't shocking for me because y'all told me it was going to happen, so I already knew.
Oh.
But again,
Yeah.
that guy, the Uzumaki guy, said the same thing. He was like, well, the first time this happened, I was like really freaked out about it.
What,
it's
really?
like
I
I was
was
like
never
a
freaked out.
10-year-old playing this game, and all of a sudden it's like, hey, you're 17 now, and I'm like, well, I don't know how I feel about that. Personally, that would really upset me.
I saw it. I knew it was coming because everybody at my school was playing it. So
and all of the promo art has him as a kid and an adult, so you know, like,
yeah.
you're
At
going to
some
be
point.
playing an adult at some point. But I'm like, you just aged me in a second.
Oh, I was totally into it. I was like, "Yeah, I'm a grown up now," because 17 is so adult.
Yeah.
I know.
And then
For sure.
oh wait, no, I can't talk about. Never mind, because Alice hasn't seen it yet. Never mind, no spoilers.
Okay.
I knew it was coming, and when it happened the first time, I was just like, all right, it's just part of the game. Let's keep going. But my husband is not a Zelda person at all. And so when I was playing at home and it happened and he's in the room, he's like, wait, what just happened? Oh my God. Wait a second. So wait, now you're an adult? Wait, I'm so confused. He's like, what about all your friends? And I was like, whoa, it's a game. Whoa. Hold up
so
there.
Charming.
It's fine. He's
Aw.
okay.
So charming.
Rob, that's so sweet. And that totally plays into like all the split timelines and stuff that happen
Yeah.
later with Majora's Mask. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
weird and insane.
I know. I was just like, all right, we'll go with it. But he was like, no, wait a second here. We got stuff to cover here.
I need a full explanation. That's cute.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the characters. One of the things that we all brought up is how many female characters there are in the game. Even though you're playing as a male character, there actually are quite a few female characters.
I don't even, other than
Melon,
Zelda, I don't
Bruto, Zelda, Impa,
Sorry.
Saria.
Epona, your horse is a girl.
Yeah.
Navi.
Epona's
Navi.
Not that
is a
we really
girl.
want to be associated with Navi.
Hey,
Listen,
hey.
listen.
My
I
favorite
cannot
is,
tell you how
watch
many.
out.
Oh yeah, I like that one.
Oh, I cannot tell you how many times I was looking up something on a read through and she'd start talking. She'd be like, hey, and Rob would be like, can you do something, please? I need you to do something about that.
My work spouse, her phone, when I text message her, it's Navi going, listen. So I sometimes I'll just text her out of the blue and I'll just be like, hi. Just so that
You can hear
just
it
so
go.
that Navi will go, listen, in the office next door. But even in terms of secondary characters, there's the cuckoo lady, the lady with the dog named Richard, the lady who runs the bomb chew shop. There's a lot of ladies in Zelda, which is one of the things I enjoy about it.
Is the bomb chew lady the one that's always like,
Yeah,
Oh,
she's always like laying on. I'm trying to model it while I'm talking into a microphone. She's always like laying really lazily on the counter, and she goes like a lot.
Bomb Chew, to clarify, is a mini game. Yes.
Yes, it's a
Yes,
mini game,
okay.
but you get them later on in the game.
Yeah.
As a weapon.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That again, in terms of the characters, feeling like you're trying to get through it doesn't give you a lot of time to get to know the characters. And
Which
to
is
really
too bad because one of the things I like about these is every single one of them is if they feel like a fully formed character. Like they all have little personal tics, like the lady in the bomb chew shop. There's the lady who's always spinning around dancing with her boyfriend.
yeah.
Ugh.
Who just
Oh,
is
in the
annoying.
village.
Ignore
Yeah.
her
Village.
when you
And
get to
her-
the Death
her
Mountain
face.
Village as an
Umbrella
adult.
Yeah.
Just
that,
ignore
yeah.
her.
There's Impa. Impa is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And Sheik. We haven't mentioned Sheik because Sheik shows up right after you.
Right when you become an adult.
Right when you become an adult.
Yeah. Sheik's kind of an androgynous character. You can't
Yeah.
really tell if it's a male or a female.
Unlike the fairies.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, those fairies.
Okay, so first thing that was really good. The first thing my husband asked when he walked in the room when one of the first fairies on the screen was like, "Why is she humping the air?"
I know, right? I had that exact conversation
Yeah.
as like a 10-year-old. Like, what is going on with these fairies?
Yeah.
That's too sexual for me.
Mm.
I'm
Yeah,
10 years
they're
old.
weird.
No.
They have, I don't know, I've always associated the red eye look with like evil, right? You watch
Yeah.
a cartoon or you play a game and when they get red eyes, they're evil. And these fairies are helping you, but they have red eyes and it's
They have
really
red eyes.
confusing.
And they have witch laughs.
They have like evil laughs.
They laugh like evil witches, and then while they're talking to you, they're like, it's like, are you telling me the truth, or are you like leading me down the dark path right now?
And
Because I'm very confused.
They're huge.
They're huge.
They are ginormous.
Yeah.
Well, and so when you guys were saying, you need to put fairies in the bottles. I was
Yeah,
like,
you're like those giant
How does
those
that
bitches.
giant fairies fit in the bottles? I don't.
No, you
I don't
just
get
need
it.
to sacrifice Navi's friends for
The
your
little
own
pink
game.
ones.
Well,
Yeah.
personal game.
The little pink
It's just,
ones.
yeah, those fairies, I can't. Oh my god, the boobs and the
Oh,
pointy.
they're
and-
so
ugh.
pointy.
Ugh.
Yeah, everything
They're
about
weird.
them. It just what's going on, Japan? Why? Children's game. Why? We don't need
Yeah.
that. Everything
Yeah.
else is like really on point, and then you get to that, and it's like, okay.
Oh, the strategy guide I used to use as a kid was hilarious, and the things that it had to say about those fairies, I can tell you.
I feel like even if they kept the same design of the fairy and everything, but they made it like a fifth of the size that it is, and it was like this little fairy thing, I'd probably be a little more okay with it. But it's the fact that they are like the entire screen.
They're huge.
Spider eyelashes and
This pointy, flowy hair that makes it look like a bad character from Final Fantasy.
yeah.
Yeah. Weird.
Fail there.
What did you want to say about the cuckoos?
The cuckoos, which I just refer to as chickens. Well, again, some of the playful funness, the fact that you can hold on to them to fly around.
I love
and
that.
stuff like that. Again, I just thought there were a lot of really fun, playful things that perhaps now if we're going to slow down the gameplay, that I might have time to enjoy a little bit more. And that's one of them.
Have you attacked the chickens?
Oh my gosh.
I have
you
never attacked the chickens because that was one of the
You
good
should-
Oh my
information that I
You
received.
should do it just
was
once to experience it because it's
Be
entertaining.
near a door when it happens.
Yeah, just
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I did it this time. I did it with a Epona. I did it with a horse. I ran over a chicken
Oh,
with a
no.
horse, and they all tried to swarm the horse. And I was just sitting up there like, ha 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 ha. But it was the funniest thing I've done in the whole game so far. So just run over them with a horse and see what happens.
That's awesome.
You'll be safe.
Those poor little cuckoos. We torture them. Well, that must have been on Lon Lon Ranch, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was when I got Epona.
Yeah. So, does anyone have a favorite character?
Melon.
I can see that.
I love her.
She's great.
Malon.
The little red-haired girl. She gets even better as the game goes
She
on.
was at Lon Lon Ranch. She's the rancher's daughter. She was
Oh,
in
the one
Hyrule
with the
right near
milk.
the beginning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
girl
He calls
yeah.
you
Giving
fairy
milk.
boy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that she calls you fairy boy.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's kind of split for me between her and Ruto. And I think I like Malon a little bit better.
Yeah.
I think it's Daruna. I love that guy.
Oh, he's
the
amazing.
Goron leader. I think
Oh,
he's
the funny one.
Yeah, I don't know. He's the wackiest character by far, and he keeps calling him brother, and I
I
just
love
like I can
that.
just hear it in my head, like he's and I like those levels the best. I know we all had problems with the throwing of the bombs, but I liked that the best.
That cavern was more enjoyable for me this playthrough. That's always been a tough cavern.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I'm never very good at the water levels. I can never make myself swim right.
Ugh.
So
Yeah, I have that same problem. Alice, do you have any? Have you been playing through too quickly?
Yeah, I don't think that I've had enough time to really be in a place of enjoyment to really get the character side of things. But I would say, listening to you guys, I would have to say I did really enjoy the big goofy
The Gorons.
Yeah.
Goron. Yeah,
I love those Gorons. And in future Zelda games, the Gorons are always one of the highlights for me.
yeah.
They just always are. They're always entertaining. They're always interesting. I think their character design is really unique, and those levels are always a lot of fun. So if you keep playing, I think you won't be disappointed with the Gorons in future games.
I think that's something I really enjoy about the Zelda franchise as a whole. I really enjoy the consistency. They bring back the
Mhm.
good characters. They add some new ones. And, it's always the same main characters. And you kind of have an idea. Once you've played through kind of once, you kind of have some insight into the rest of them. It's something I really, really enjoy about the whole franchise.
I like that it's the same characters, but in a unique universe every time. Yeah.
It's different. It's not an identical gameplay, but...
Yeah. So, industry and pop culture impact. Zelda is just huge.
Yeah.
I don't know very many gamers who haven't played at least some Zelda video game.
Yeah, and it's across like every single one of Nintendo's platforms basically.
Yeah.
You can pick up a Nintendo console or a handheld console from Nintendo and you can play Zelda.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah,
Have-
I agree.
What other Zelda games has everyone here played? Alice, obviously this is your first one, but
Yeah, I have watched my son play. I think what you guys were
Twilight.
describing. No, is the first one, the flat one,
Mm-hmm.
the 8-bit one.
uh-huh.
Because the game that I got is like a collection, so there's a lot of different ones, and he's currently playing Majora's Mask. If I said that
Oh,
correctly.
I do enjoy Majora's Mask. That one's
Oh.
very different.
Very frustrating too.
Yeah, it can be.
I've played Majora's Mask, Ocarina of Time. I played Wind Waker a couple times. A lot of people like to talk trash about Wind Waker, I don't know if those people have played through Wind Waker. It's actually
I don't think
really
they
great
have,
game.
because Ocarina of Time is often the one I hear people say is their favorite. But the one I hear second most often as their favorite is Wind Waker. The people who love Wind Waker really love it.
Yeah, it's great.
I've started it, but I've never finished it.
And it has a great story. And I also have a disc that has every console Zelda game from Wind Waker back on it. Or I have Wind Waker on one disc and then everything else on another disc. So I've played at least part of all of the previous ones just to at least get a feel and see what they were like.
I've played this one, Majora's Mask, one of the Game Boy ones. What else? Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword. And actually playing Skyward Sword, Ocarina of Time had been my favorite, but I think Skyward Sword is my favorite now. It's just, the execution on it is perfection. Like, they really perfected that game, I think.
I really want to play that
It's
one.
really good. I recommend playing it. Maybe we'll have to, if we do another Zelda game, maybe that will have to be the one.
I'll buy a Wii for it. I'll do it.
What about you?
Yeah, I did the original Zelda, the 8-bit, a little bit until I got slaughtered within the first 15 minutes of the game. I did Ocarina of Time. I really did enjoy Wind Waker. That was probably right there with
I think I need to
Ocarina of
play that
Time.
one.
And Twilight Princess.
Oh, I played some of that one too.
That one wasn't perfect, but it was still enjoyable.
Yeah, I struggle with that one only because I struggle with the actual like Wii controllers. I'm not a huge fan of the Wii, so
The control scheme on it wasn't perfect, and all of the problems that Twilight Princess had, they've really improved upon in Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
So all of the frustrations that I had playing it are gone when you play Skyward Sword. So Alice, I know we're going to finish playing the game, but how excited are you for that? And how excited are you to finish, and do you want to play another Zelda game after this?
I wish a podcast you all could see Alice's face right now.
I was so excited. I mean, I think slowing down the pace for me, I mean, it really is it's a time struggle, right? So for me, you know, I get home from work, I've got educating geek stuff to work, I've got my son to entertain, you know, he's going to bed later now, you know, so I have from 9 p.m. and in my head, I'm like, okay, well, I can try and figure out that Zelda controller, or I can go lie in my bed and watch Warehouse 13. Well, I'm not gonna lie, watching Warehouse 13 usually wins.
None of us are going to blame you for that, though.
No. So I mean, I slowing down the pace for me, I think will and having the quote unquote pressure be off, I think will help me up my level of enjoyment with the game. And like I said, like it does have a lot of similarities in mechanics to the way the Lorecraft games worked, which I did really enjoy. So I'm hoping now, would I take up another long-term adventure game given my lifestyle right now? Probably not, because all of the time that I would have to play one is now going to be dedicated to this one.
Right.
And to be honest, I you know, these types of games very much are solo endeavors, and as you guys know, I'm not a solo endeavor person. The kind of games that I enjoy playing are games that I play with other people. Be that, you know, that's one of the reasons why I love the Lego games, because you always have a partner. I enjoy playing Skylanders with my son because we get to play as a team. I also like playing as a team, not against someone. So if I were to pick up another video game, another long-term adventure game is probably not the way that I would go, just given my own preferences.
Yeah. So did anybody come up with drinking game rules?
Okay,
I
so
did.
I did. My
I
first one
did.
has to do with something that happened to me when I started to play this game for the podcast.
Yes, okay.
Oh, we didn't tell that story.
No, we
Yeah,
haven't
well,
yet,
now
so I'm
we
going to
will.
wrap it in
Yeah.
here. So it's drink an entire bottle of something
Holy crap.
when you realize that you just started playing Master Quest Zelda,
Oh,
not the
Without-
actual gameplay.
Without playing through it the first time.
Yeah, so the Master Quest gameplay is something they added to. I don't know if it's all Zelda games or just this one. I think it was just this one for its re-release
I think you're right.
on the GameCube. The idea was that you've already played the game through, you've got your save, now you're going to play the game through again, and they're going to amp up this level of difficulty to like suicide level, and they're going to take the game and add obstacles and move things around. And so I walk into the the lost forest in like the very beginning of the game, and I need bombs, and I'm like, what is going on? It took me a good hour and a half to figure out I did not have everything I need to complete this. And I started panicking and Googling it, and then I was like, oh, went to the main screen, and there it says Master Quest. So if you do that, you get to drink an entire bottle of your choice.
And we're hopefully a beer and not like a bottle
Right.
of wine or
There's the
something.
Jack.
I'm letting that decision lie
Handle
up to how
vodka.
stupid you feel. I felt like I needed more.
I say every time the triumphant dun da 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 dun music
Oh,
plays,
that's
you
a
should
good
take
one.
take a drink.
Yeah, for me, my that I thought. So if you're anywhere, I don't care where you are, and somebody says, "Listen," and you go, "Navy," you have to immediately go to a bar and take a shot.
You're just leaving the house.
That's right.
I'm getting out of here.
If Alice just turns around and walks out of the room, we all know why now.
One of mine is take a drink, or I wrote down shot, and then I realized this might be dangerous, so use your discretion, but take a shot or a drink anytime you get one of your key pieces of equipment. So like your slingshot, your boomerang, your bow and arrow, your hook shot, whenever you get one of those. Because it's always exciting when you get a new piece of equipment.
Yes, I agree.
So
agree.
mine is you take a drink anytime you open a chest and you're sorely disappointed with what's in there.
That's a great one.
You open it, it's like 5 rupees, and you're like, drink.
Oh my gosh, the temple underneath the well, you would be constantly drinking.
Dang it.
I was gonna say take a shot every time you learn a new song, but
Oh, that's a good
up
one.
to your discretion.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I would say with the controller issues that you have to take a drink every time you fall off something.
Oh,
But then I thought, well,
No.
if you're drinking,
It's only
and
gonna
then
get
you'd
worse.
only be falling off more, so it would be this self-fulfilling prophecy.
You're gonna have to
That's the
teach
point, though.
yourself.
That's the point, yeah.
There's a punishment coming up. I have to get this right.
That's right.
Megan, do you have any more?
Yeah, I do. I have to remember them because I didn't bring my book with me. God damn it.
I have 2 that I can think
Oh,
of.
yeah, go ahead.
One of them is you take a drink anytime it like zooms in on Link and he looks confused by what just happened to him. So after he learns an ocarina song, every time he's like, "Oh, what just happened?"
It's because he's all cross-eyed when he's looking at it. Yeah.
So anytime he has that moment of like, I don't know what's going on, or did that just happen? You take a drink.
Excellent.
Take a drink whenever you visit Princess Zelda or get to see Princess Zelda because it doesn't happen a ton.
Yeah.
Maybe that should be a shot. I don't know.
I think that should be a shot.
It should be a
Well, I
shot.
think every time you get to meet a scary fairy, you have to take a shot.
Oh, that's a good one.
I think when you find the Mario, Luigi, Princess Peach Easter eggs, you
Where
should
okay,
take a,
so
Yeah.
yeah,
take
where
a drink.
I haven't found all of those.
Oh, if you peek into the windows at Hyrule Castle, you can see their portraits in the hall.
Oh.
They also made the rancher, and so the owner of Lon Lon Ranch, whose name I can't remember now, and the
Talon.
Talon.
and then his
Ingo.
angry- yeah, Ingo. They're supposed to be Mario
Yeah.
and Luigi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man, Luigi's mad.
Well, wouldn't
I would
you
be too. So you're of Luigi.
Take a drink a White Russian anytime you find a cow randomly in the environment.
Oh yeah,
That's
just
a good one.
completely randomly like, oh, here's a cow in a hole.
Yeah.
Yes,
That
yes, I
can't
was
be
thinking of
good.
that one.
How do they even get down those holes?
I
It's
don't know.
weird.
Subterranean cows.
So,
Oh,
since-
band name. Calling it Subterranean Cows.
I
That's
think
kinda
every
perfect.
episode should have
What's our band name?
trademarking
Yeah.
a band name. No, the other one I had was because of the controller I was playing with. Every time you screw up your ocarina song, you have to take a
Oh, that
drink.
that still happens even
another.
if you're on the right controller.
That's another
Yep.
one like Alice's.
Yeah.
Where the worse,
Yes.
the more you play, the worse it gets.
Pretty soon you're just playing.
You're just standing in one place.
Yes. Oh. Yeah. Well, for me, it would be every time I blew myself up, I should take a drink.
Oh, yeah. You should. Anytime that you die, you should take a drink or a shot, depending on how upset you are. I'm saying this now. I thought I was going to be able to play through the whole game. I'm like, I'm not going to die this time. I'm going to go through the whole game and never die. I've died twice.
I totally cheated. Using the emulator, there's save slots where you can save at any point. So I'd be like, oh, this looks hard. Save.
You
Oh,
cheater.
dang it. I just fell. All right, start over. All right, let's try this again.
You cheater.
I totally cheated, but time was of the essence. And I definitely accidentally loaded an old save. And had to refight Phantom Ganon.
It. You deserved it.
I would say when somebody imposes on you, which happens often, you
It
take a
does.
drink.
Yeah.
Everybody
What do you
just assumes you're at their disposal.
Like when you have to do I need you to help me with this. And
oh, hey, you're not doing anything
Can you
right.
carry this
Take
chicken
us
egg
there.
for me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, can you gather up all the chickens that I lost
Well-
because I'm a terrible chicken owner
wouldn't you?
and I'm allergic?
Wouldn't you just be drinking the whole game
Yeah.
then? Because the whole thing is Zelda's like, Link, you're on this quest. I need your help. Like,
and the
the
great
whole
Deku
game
Tree
is
is just like,
just
hey,
waterfalling
so
the whole
Link,
time.
I'm dying. Can you just do something for me really
there's
quick?
a straw in your beer, and you're just sucking the beer up. while
Yeah,
you
one of
play.
those hats.
One of my favorite side quests, which you don't have to complete, is trading out all the masks.
Yeah.
So every time you give the mask to the person you're supposed to, you should take a drink.
Nice.
Oh, Alice is wearing a shirt with all the masks on it. How cute. And a
Ooh.
no-face mask.
I don't know if it's nice.
Nice.
That's an interesting mashup.
I really like her shirt. We should find it online and post a picture. Or have her
It,
post.
actually,
Those are
she's
Sarah.
wearing... Yeah, the shirt she's wearing was in one of Sarah's Geek Supply posts. It's
Ooh.
adorable. I love it. I want to buy it now. Any other drinking game rules?
I feel
Not
like
that
I
I can
had
think
one
of.
more, and I can't remember.
I know I had a whole bunch of them, and I just left that damn book at home.
Well, I know early on you were like, because I was, I did a lot of whining.
Yeah, I was worried about you. I still am. Knowing about this strange controller that you're using, I'm still
we'll
worried
chat
about
later,
you.
Alice.
It was take a drink every time you feel like you're going to throw the controller.
Oh,
across
yes,
the
there you
room.
go.
Yeah.
It still happens.
I say finish your drink when you beat a boss.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's an excellent.
That's an excellent one.
Because you do
Oh.
have that moment of satisfaction where you're like, thank goodness.
Take a shot if after you complete the boss, you forget to pick up the heart
Oh
piece.
my goodness.
I have not done that yet.
I haven't done that.
I did that.
I'm so desperate, for
desperate,
hearts all the
exactly.
time that I'm like,
I haven't done it yet this playthrough. I always do it once every game.
Mhm.
And every time I'm like, God damn it.
Why didn't you just give that to me?
Oh, it's so frustrating.
Oh, every time you die and have to be brought back to life by one of your bottled fairies, you have to take a drink.
what
That's a good
bottled
one.
fairies?
That will change. You need to, anytime you're about to go into a dungeon from now on, you need to go fill up your bottles with those fairies,
We
man.
need to
Well,
we need to
but somebody
supervise.
also has to tell me where the fairy fountains are because I've never
Well,
even
they-
seen one.
They also have fairies in pots
in the
sometimes.
dungeons
Yeah.
sometimes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like if you're coming up on a boss, usually you'll be able to find at least one pot with a fairy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anytime that bloody owl comes by
Oh, the
and wants
owl.
to talk
Oh.
at you,
If you accidentally,
Yes,
if you
that was one of
accidentally
my
make him
rules.
repeat himself.
yes, if you have to talk to him again because you trigger him,
If you do it 3 times in a row, you have to just turn off the game and go to a bar.
Yeah.
I like the owl.
I have done that so many
music brought to you by Educating Geeks. I'm trying to recall if we see him much as adults,
You see him a couple of times.
but not nearly as much as you did
No,
when you
he's
were a kid.
everywhere when you're a kid, but
Yeah.
yeah, not as much as an adult. I'm pretty sure you see him at least twice, maybe as an adult.
I'm trying to remember, and I don't remember.
Oh my god, that totally reminds me of the other thing that kept happening because I play so infrequently is I'd forget where the hell I was in the game and I would go
Oh.
redo something
Yeah.
because I didn't realize I'd
no.
already,
You'd
done it.
Oh, that's frustrating.
When the owl picks you, he's like, "Hey, do you want to ride?"
Yeah.
When he picks you up, just drink the whole time that cutscene's happening.
it takes the most non-direct route
Oh,
to
I
put you
know.
back down.
He's
I
like,
know.
I was getting sick.
you need to go back to Hyrule Field. Okay, let's fly over Kakariko Village, then we'll go over Lake Hylia, and then we'll go to the castle. Dude, why do you have to go so far out of the way? Take a drink every time you collect a gold Skulltula.
Take a drink every time you're trying to further the storyline, but it's the wrong time of day.
That gets better when you get an adult because you get a song that allows you to change. the
Yeah,
time
but
of
when you're
day.
a kid, you have to sit there outside the village and wait for it to become daytime
Oh,
before you walk
wait,
inside.
I already have the song that changes day to night.
You
Yeah,
get it as a kid,
you can
but,
get it as a
oh.
kid.
but it's like near the end.
take a drink if you're in Hyrule Field on your way to the castle and you get there right as the gate starts raising up. And if you're on, this has happened to me multiple times, if you're on the bridge when it starts to raise up, you have to take a shot.
If it's nighttime, and I think it's after you become an adult, but we will have a very small portion of adult in our conversation here, and you get grabbed by one of those zombies, you have to drink the entire time until it lets you go.
Oh, yeah.
It's a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
The mummies are even worse. Yeah, any other drinking game rules?
No.
I just want to point out also, all of these rules have been us drinking alone.
Yeah.
So drink responsibly, people.
Yes. Sometimes you need it, though.
And, have a spotter if you need one.
Tag team.
Yeah.
I'm tagging you in.
Yeah, actually,
Take this
Matt and I
shot for
play
me.
games that way a lot, is we tag team games a lot.
Oh, see, I just go, I cannot get up this bridge. Husband, I need your help.
No, like we'll play until you beat a boss and then we'll pass off the controller. It works pretty well for us. We don't do that for every game, and we don't always finish the game that way, but we do that quite a bit.
Yeah.
So before we sign off, we'd like to tell you about all of our upcoming plans for Phoenix Comic-Con because we've got a lot on the plate. So our first panel is called Is There Such a Person? H.P. Lovecraft's Female Characters. We're going to be discussing 3 short stories by H.P. Lovecraft, The Dreams in the Witch House, The Thing on the Doorstep, and The Dunwich Horror. And then we'll also be discussing the 1970 film adaptation of The Dunwich Horror, in case you want to read or watch before our panel. That panel is going to be on Thursday, June 5th from 8 to 9 p.m. in the Phoenix Convention Center South Building, room 166. We also have a panel called Agents of STEM, and I'll be joined by a group of 4 awesome ladies who are working in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and we're going to discuss ways to get your kids involved in STEM programs. That panel is going to be on Friday, June 6th from noon to 1 p.m. in the North Building, room 122C. We're going to continue our trend. We did this panel last year, and Geek host Sarah did this panel the year before, but we'll be discussing American Horror Story Season 3, Coven. That panel will be Friday, June 6th from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. in the South Building, room 166. And on Friday, to coincide with our American Horror Story panel, we'll be cosplaying as the witchy ladies from Coven. So if you want to join us, just wear your best in black, and we'll be there in our black dresses with our big hats and big sunglasses while we discuss the new Supreme.
At a minimum, you could just wear your best black hat.
That would be awesome. Yeah, that'd be fun if we could get an audience full of people with big black hats. That'd be great. Our final panel on Friday, June 6th is called Squee Fest 2014, Six Packs, Guns, and Tight Buns. Squee!
Sexy.
Ooh, I like the whistle. So this is an adults-only podcast, or not podcast. This is an adults-only panel where we'll be discussing our favorite beautiful guys from sci-fi and fantasy, and we're going to hold a bracket competition to pick the hottest Hottie McHotterton of 2014. It should be a pretty fun time for the adults, so if you're a lover of the male physique, we hope you'll join us.
Yes, to be clear, we'll be ogling.
Yes. Just full-on looking at shirtless men. It's going to be great. On Saturday, June 7th from 3 to 4 p.m., we're going to do a panel called All Men Must Die. We're going to be hosting this panel in conjunction with Geek News Network. So Geek host Bree and I are going to be joined by Richard and Hong from GNN while we talk about the series. And that's going to be in the North Building, room 131. And that's a huge room.
That's a big room.
That's a really big room. So spread the word. We'd love to see how many people we can fit into that giant room.
Yes, bring drinking game rules.
And to clarify,
Yeah.
we're discussing Game of Thrones.
Did I not say that?
You did.
Well,
Didn't
thank
she
you.
say Game of Thrones? All
No,
men
she
must
said
die?
all men must die, and she never told us
Oh.
what it was about.
Well, that's a Game of Thrones panel, everybody. And what's our cosplay schedule for Saturday?
Oh, goodness.
Are we just-
I think that was independent.
That's our mix-up day.
So I'll be
Okay.
steampunking it for part of the day, and you thought of joining us, and
Yeah,
Bree
Bree
had
and
mentioned
I-
that she might try and make you dragon hoodies.
That would
for-
be awesome. Yeah. So if you're going to come to our Game of Thrones panel, dress up for Game of Thrones, or you can join Alice in her steampunk costuming. Alice is like a pro steampunk costumer.
It's amazing, yeah.
She's got some amazing stuff.
Thank you. I'm going to wear my cape this year. I'm very excited.
That's one of the first
Ooh.
times I ever met Alice was when she was in her steampunk gear.
Oh, that's amazing. I was like shocked the first time I saw her. Like we had been chatting for like 2 days at Comic-Con and you were like just dressed normally. And then the next day you were like all decked out in your steampunk gear. And I was like, well, that's something new I've just learned about this person. It was kind of awesome.
New and awesome.
Yeah, it was totally awesome. What's our next panel?
So that was
That's
Saturday.
Saturday.
So Sunday.
So Sunday, June 8th, we'll be hosting our final panel. We're calling it Ichabod's Apocalypse, Sleepy Hollow and Literature, History, and the Bible. We'll be discussing Fox's TV show Sleepy Hollow and then comparing it with Irving's original narrative, as well as comparing it to the biblical and cultural allusions in the Fox TV show. And that one is, again, Sunday, June 8th, 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. in the North Building, room 227C. And on Sunday, we're going to be cosplaying as Green Lanterns.
Yes.
So if you want to be a lantern of any color of your choice or just your favorite superhero on Sunday, we'd love to see those costumes as well. So all of this information about our Phoenix Comic-Con schedule is up on our calendar, educatinggeeks.com/calendar, and on our website at educatinggeeks.com/phxcc for Phoenix Comic-Con. And then we're going to have all kinds of announcements coming up on the website this month as we prepare for Phoenix Comic-Con. And then join us on Sundays because I have been live tweeting Cosmos and Game of Thrones, and oftentimes the other geek hosts will join me if they're available to watch the shows with me. And we've been having some really fun conversations with people, especially at Cosmos, and we're starting to get some more comments on Game of Thrones. So I'd love for you to join us. Cosmos, I live tweet at 8 p.m. and then Game of Thrones at 9. That's all Arizona time since we're in Arizona. And if you have comments, questions, or drinking game rules of your own, we'd love for you to share them with us. You can reach out to us on social media using the Educating Geeks hashtag or EGDG for Educating Geeks Drinking Games. Or you can send us an email at mothership@educatinggeeks.com. So that's all we have for today. Thanks for listening to my long spiel about Phoenix Comic-Con. We're just really excited.
But we want to see you there.
We want to see you guys there. We're really excited to get to see you guys in person.
And all of the panels are in the Conquest and on the programming website for Phoenix Comic-Con. So if you didn't get a date or time, just, give us a look up there, and they're all available with more information as well.
That's right.
Yeah, and 4 of them are live podcast recordings. So if you want to come and join and be a part of the podcast, 4 of them are live podcast
That's
recordings.
always the most fun, because I remember last year we just had great conversations with the people in the audience when we were talking about Babylon 5 and American Horror Story. So we really just do love engaging with you guys in person. We're always in a room by ourselves when we record the podcast, so it's fun to get out and do it with other people every once in a while. Well, thank you for joining us today for our discussion on the first part of The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Today, you have been listening to Megan,
Andrea,
Bree, and Alice.
Don't forget that you can find us online at educatinggeeks.com. We're also on social media on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and Google+. All you have to do is search for Educating Geeks on your favorite social network to find us. And this is our last episode before Phoenix Comic-Con. So the next time you listen to a podcast, if you don't join us live for the recording, you'll be listening to what we recorded live at Phoenix Comic-Con. Con! So come join us at Con, because obviously we're way too excited. So bye.
Bye.